Guys, we watched Kingdom of the Planets
of the Apes.
And
8 out of 10.
I give it... Okay, I want to explain my reasoning first, and then I'll give a rating at the end. So, you want to start, or you want me to start?
So my 8 out of 10 is because if you watch like we did, if you watched all the movies. By the way, guys, I'm Mir.
I'm Sophia.
And in this video, as you can see, we're gonna give y'all spoilers ahead. We're gonna give y'all our reaction to the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes movie, you know, because we literally just seen it.
Yeah.
Now, let's get into it. 8 out of 10. Now, that's a good rating. I can be a harsh critic, but that's a good rating because it was a good movie. Anybody that's seen that movie and saying like, oh, I'm gonna just address the bad stuff people were saying first.
Well, that's your perspective first, at least.
I'm right. I'm telling you. So I've seen. Oh, where's Caesar? Oh, no Caesar. Bad movie.
I mean, clearly there was no Caesar. We saw Caesar die.
Look,
in the we saw him die on war, so we knew he wasn't going to be.
That's
in.
what. Let me explain. That's what I'm saying. So my point of view is spoilers. Click off this video if you have not watched the movie. In the movie, there was multiple, and I mean multiple things showing that Caesar's presence was still there. Via necklaces, via symbols like people were holding up and, you know, people were drawing it. Even though in the movie Proximus Caesar, the antagonist, was, you know, using it for a bad reasoning, Caesar was still there, guys. He was still there mentally. People got to understand this is a whole new thing they're doing. It's been a long time. 300 years. Okay? So that's my reasoning for giving it an 8 out of 10 because I'm addressing the thing that people disliked about it the most. That is starting something.
Well, you shouldn't
new.
be saying what people. You should just be giving your opinion.
Because that is my opinion. I feel like even though Caesar was not in it, it didn't matter. It was still good. And I feel like Noah, which is the protagonist, they did a great job introducing him because he's a new character. So people usually don't like new things. And I didn't really mind it. So when it comes to the start of it, the middle, and the end, I want to say it was perfect. In my opinion, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even gonna say it was better than Rise. Rise of the Planet of Apes was better in my opinion. But come on, y'all. Kingdom of the Planet of Apes was not a bad movie. It had more good things than worse. And I feel like this trilogy, moving forward, the second movie, is going to be great. Great. And I'm excited to see what that Human-Ape is going to do. You know what I'm saying? We're going to talk about that later. But that's my short opinion real quick.
So, now that Mayor has, talked y'all head off a little bit.
I didn't.
I'm going to give y'all my rating. I know I said I was going to explain my reasons first, but it does make sense for me to give my rating first. So, I would say my rating for this movie was a 7. And, yeah.
It's not horrible.
So, this is the thing. I get it. I already knew Caesar wasn't going to be in the movie because we clearly saw he died in war. Now, I think my problem... Well, let me say this. Number one, we both watched this in 4DX, which was fantastic. So I think that really added a lot of, flavor and the experience to the movie. But I felt like when they introduced Noah, it was like too long. I don't know. I kind of got bored of his story. I didn't really like Noah's story personally. Everybody has a right to their opinion, but I didn't really enjoy Noah's story. I felt like he was brought in and his dad was something with the birds and everything like that. That was their clan. They caught eagles and raised them. Yeah, I just didn't like his story overall personally. And then I felt like the movie, they really stretched down certain things instead of just getting to certain points. Then I also realized for some reason with a lot of movies that I feel like they're coming out these days, they try to implement certain things. I can tell they was trying to make some comedic jokes and it's I get it, but I feel like knowing what the original series, how it was, and then seeing that, it was kind of That's just my opinion though. Also, I didn't like how they did that to Caesar's name. I mean, a part of me understands because we kind of did the math, like thinking like, okay, from the time Caesar died to where the movie takes place now, we think it's been about no more than 300 years between war and the movie we watch right now. And it does make sense. You know, people, they change stories. So I understand why Caesar's name was definitely being tarnished or even used in a bad way, just like you said with the antagonist Proximus Caesar. But I feel like they could have tried more to really incorporate like what Caesar was like, you know, what his overall goal is. Then let me get to the human. So I was like semi confused because you had the girl, you know, she was kind of acting like a wild animal. And then
basically,
when we saw them meet with them other humans, it was kind of like humans exist, but then again they don't. And it was kind of making me think like, okay, like clearly you had the humans that just kind of survived, like past the
like
past the
bunker?
past like the Nova stage, because we know like Nova, she lost her voice, but she can still like, you know, be alive and everything. So we're aware that there were humans that couldn't speak. But I thought the movie was going to be more focused around that compared to like, oh yeah, just making
the actual humans coming back.
No, I thought the movie was going to touch more about, like, I thought it was going to be more in depth about like how the apes and the humans were compared to like just having like two different sides of apes. I didn't really like how they did that.
Two different sides of apes.
They had
like bad apes and good apes.
So it's kind of like having like how Koba wasn't in Caesar. I feel like they kind of just re-implemented that, and I didn't really like that because I felt like
Dawn was good.
But I feel like the fact that we saw it in Dawn already, we didn't need to see that in this movie. I feel like, in my opinion, I feel like the movie should have definitely been more focused around the human. And even though we saw at the end of the movie, like clearly, Nova, well, I forgot her real name, but she got the thing, went back to the where all the other humans are because they're trying to make a comeback, which is why I didn't give it a super low rating, because seeing how it all came to an end, even though I feel like they really stretched it out, I feel like the second movie do have potential to be way better than the first one. And yeah, like that's the reason why I gave it a 7, because I personally didn't really like Noah's storyline, and I feel like I really didn't like the fact that they killed off the last person who really who believed in like Caesar's original plan.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I didn't like how they killed him off like that.
What was his name? Yes.
Maurice?
The orangutan. No,
oh my gosh.
No, not Maurice.
Yeah,
but,
it wasn't him.
But he was basically he was the new Maurice, and he definitely knew everything about what Caesar actually believed in.
Yeah.
And yes, he definitely died. Spoiler. He definitely died, which was crazy.
Listen,
which I agree with. I was not expecting him to die because like now, but now Noah knows. He told Noah a good amount of things. And
I know.
And Noah knows who Caesar truly was and what he was doing. And the May literally told Noah about all that. So and that's why I give him my rating. Because I think what they did, unlike with Rise, I think, because let's think about it. Rise of the Planet of the Apes, they built that movie based off of an already known trilogy back in the day in the 60s and 70s. Like they had all this time to build that great movie and start it all the way from the bottom, all the way to where the apes escape into the world like that. But this one, Kingdom, only had the recent trilogies to build off. So they kind of was like, we can't recreate it. We got to build our own thing.
Well, like I said,
that's
I feel like
why it's kind of underwhelming, because there's like it's like they're literally creating new things. That's why I'm going easy on it, because it's like a start, and I'm like, okay, it definitely wasn't on 9 or 10. I'll go give y'all some slack, because if you all watched the movie, I think it was good. I'll give it an 8.
But my thing is, for it to be 2 hours and like 20 minutes long, and guys, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I kind of fell asleep.
It was near the end.
Yeah,
and it was getting late. She didn't miss the whole movie.
Yeah, I didn't miss
it was
the
like
whole
near the end. And
but I kind of know what happened by the time I woke up, because from the last scene where it left off compared to what I saw was happening, like I kind of foreshadowed that was going to happen. I don't know all the little ins and outs, but I kind of know what was going on. But I mean, I get what you're saying. Like, they didn't really have that much stuff to build on, but I feel like they could have found a better way to redevelop the story.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even when it comes down to like how the human, like, this probably sounds like contradictory, but they could have made this movie maybe a little bit more like human focused, like maybe really seeing like how the humans are going about like
maybe that's what it was
trying to come back. Because when they brought in, well, May, because we found out her real name, it's like they brought her in and it's like, well, where did she come from? Like, she was just out and then she can talk, which confuses me because
the fact that she could talk really blew us out the water. Me and Sophie both looked at each other like,
right,
in the movie theater when she started talking, we're like, okay. And I think that's what it was missing. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, even though I gave it an 8, I feel like Sophie's kind of right. This movie was definitely just ape on ape.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest.
And
like,
I did, yeah. And I feel
if y'all
like
watch it, y'all know what I'm talking about.
And I don't
it
feel like
some...
that gave, right, it wasn't enough context. Because even with Nova, well, May, where did she come from? Like, I mean, I fell asleep for like 20 minutes. I don't know if she really explained it, but okay, let me say this. In War, we saw...
She had a family, and Proxima Caesar killed her family.
Okay, you remember the War, right?
And they could talk.
Okay, you remember War, right?
Okay, I remember War.
Who was the guy that Caesar was trying to kill because they killed his family? What was his name again?
What, the Colonel?
Yeah, the Colonel. So remember in War, the Colonel was so big on trying to, eradicate the apes because, the virus was mutating and basically he didn't want to be at the bottom because, humans were losing their voices. So I will say that's the point I'm kind of confused with when it comes to May or even seeing all those people at the end in the bunker, because after War, in my opinion, is like how, like, from that time frame all the way up until where we're at now. And like we said, I give it like a good 300-year time frame. I know you're probably going to shoot us in the comments, but we said max. It's been 300 years between War and where we're at now.
Why are
there humans that still have their voice? Because in War, it was showing how it was mutating and getting rid of them. So that's the part I'm kind of confused with.
Humans are like, bro, we are hard to get rid of. That's how I feel. We're just hard to get rid of.
And then I also feel like we maybe should have saw more of like how the apes started to forget Caesar. I don't know. Like, I feel like maybe that's that a little bit more.
Here's my 2 things, because people I feel like to nitpick, but for me, I think. Excuse me, it's only 2 things. Because people are even saying things about Proxima Caesar, like, oh, he wasn't really that good of a... And it's like, that wasn't the point. It's really his aura that was supposed to be like, he had a goal in mind. He was literally like the colonel of the apes. He was like, he was literally just like the colonel. And in my opinion, people could say like, oh, the colonel, was he really a villain? Because like, it was other people that was doing stuff too. But like, Proxima Caesar did a lot too. He was even fighting Caesar in the last scene. Like, and in my opinion, I don't know his name, the gorilla that was on his side, on Proxima Caesar's side, the one that was chasing Noah and stuff like that. You know what I'm talking about, right?
No.
What?
I remember I fell asleep.
No, you didn't fall asleep at the beginning.
Oh my god! Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yes,
like
the big gorilla that was chasing him. Yes, it's like his body. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Proxima Caesar and him were like a combined villain, if that makes sense, because you gotta think about how the movie worked. They didn't really get to Proxima Caesar until later. So of course people are gonna be like, oh, Proxima Caesar didn't really do this, and that.
But that's why I said I feel like
he had a plan. It was his aura. He was the main antagonist in the whole story. He is telling people what to do, this, and that.
Right.
You get what I'm trying to say? Y'all get what I'm trying to say?
That's why
that's not really an issue.
That's why I said I feel like Noah's story was so dragged out for no reason, in my opinion. Like, I was kind of like bored. I felt like they made like the opening scene, they made it like so grand.
It was so beautiful.
They made it.
It was so beautiful. It was like so lovely.
They made it so grand. Like, look at the apes, this and that. And then it's like it was just like dragging it. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like after seeing the first set of movies, I expected something great, just like Star Wars. Like,
you know what I think is missing though?
What?
That I'm trying to get to. You know what I think is missing? I feel like with you two, it's you are missing the human factor.
I did mention the human factor. I said this movie should have.
I'm sorry.
When
For
you
repeating
edit,
you, I'm
he's
sorry.
gonna see it. But I literally said I feel like
I'm sorry
this
for repeating
movie
you.
should have focused more on the human aspect compared to Apes because I said we already seen that.
Because in all of them, I mean, it's not even that point. It's just because in all of them, Rise, Dawn, and War, even though it was apes against each other a little bit, it was humans.
That wasn't right. That wasn't the focal.
Humans were always there. Humans were always there. In the first one, it was Will and Caesar at the beginning, and then obviously they attacked they were attacking each other, going back from on the bridge and stuff like that. Then in Dawn, it was even worse, and in War, it was even worse. Like it was always like this, like low key, like mini build up battle, and then a war to the humans, and then that's what I think is missing. Even I would agree with in Kingdom. Like you start off and it's just all these apes. You know,
and then
beautiful.
And then y'all have one
and then there's
human.
one human, and then there's like a whole raid, and it's not humans, it's apes.
Actually, they had two.
Apes,
I forgot they had that other guy, which I feel like his thing was so random too.
Oh, he was like a slave to like Proximus Caesar.
Yeah, but like
he made the tools and stuff.
I feel like his whole character was kind of pointless. Like
no, because if it wasn't for him, they would never had those staffs, those electrical staffs.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know. Like I said, I feel like the movie definitely should have focused more on like.
It should have been more humans. I think.
It should have been more humans.
You know what? I think we both could agree on. Let me just say this for both of us. I think they could have. You said it too, but I think it could have went back a tiny bit more, like maybe not 300 years.
It could have been like mid, right? Like to see where
like
everything's like to see what's happening, like after Caesar died, how they continue to go about it.
Because I bet
maybe this should have focused on like how it got to the point where everybody forgot Caesar. Like that would have been more.
That's what I said. You said.
Like, who becomes the next leader? How do we go about like dealing with humans? Oh, do humans still hate the apes? Do they still want nothing to do with the apes?
Like
they should have did that.
Caesar's son is old. Like Caesar's son, his little son was like very old. Cornelius, like imagine it was Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and like at first we didn't see him, but then it shows like Cornelius like old and he's the elder.
Yeah.
And like he was, and like I would even accept it if he would have died. Like if he got 10 minutes of screen time, and then he had a son and like he died. That would have been like, dang, okay.
Yeah.
Now we seeing Caesar's not son, grandson, or something like that, or even a little maybe lower than that.
And it should have been the humans kill him too.
And exactly, and I feel like more humans should have been there, and then that would have been kind of like the natural thing we're used to. You know what I'm saying?
You know what they could have did? They could have did exactly what you said. Cornelius, he get like a good amount of screen time. He gets killed off by a human, and then the rest of the apes. No, hear me out, right? The rest of the apes was like, you know what? Like we can't stand by these human sides. This and that, blah blah. And that's what causes the division between the apes. And like that's what will cause the division between the apes, because you have some apes like, no, but Caesar wouldn't want us to kill them, even though we're doing that. We just gotta protect our
my gosh, you know
they should have did that and show the separation, like why some apes went against like respecting Caesar, because it's like, well, they're killing us off. So why should we not fight back against the humans if they're trying to kill us off? And then you had two sides of the apes. You have the side that's like, no, we're gonna stick by Caesar's original idea, and then you had the other apes that's like, no.
You talking about is getting me hyped right now. That's what I'm saying. But that's why I gave it an 8 out of 10. Y'all gotta hear me out.
No, you gave it too high.
Because what if they do that for the next movie? What if they do go back and like before Noah's time?
No, but I feel like at this point,
what if they do?
Because at this point, Noah and most of his people don't even know anything about Caesar. That's the problem. Like some of them apes, like the line.
Right, but what if the next one we see how? That's happened before.
But the line of the apes that Noah come from, I think they barely know about Caesar. But I don't think they'll go back in time. I think they're gonna, you know, when May went back, those humans are ready to come back and take over the world. But
guys, it was a scene where where the primitive humans were like drinking water from a river. Oh my
I was like, wow, like.
And then like they were getting chased by like Proximus Caesar's like men and like his big bodyguard, like. that really, it looks so weird as a human to watch that. Like, it was so weird. I was like, whoa, like.
Yeah, it's like we're at the bottom.
We're animals running away, like. And at that point in the movie, I didn't know May could talk. So I'm like, dang, like humans are really primitive. Like, we're really gone.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it wanted you to think. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm still giving it a good enough rating, because I'm not going to say this movie wasn't giving what it was supposed to give. I feel like it gave what it was supposed to give.
I was going to say, whose side are y'all on? Are y'all on May's side?
Oh my gosh, that's a great conversation. What's your thoughts on what May thinks?
Well,
I got my thoughts.
I feel like humans, the way May was acting, she doesn't want apes to have any type of access to being in control.
Not at all.
She literally was explaining how apes shouldn't even be doing half this stuff. It's all for humans. That's how she felt.
She was like, it was all our fault. Y'all shouldn't even be here.
Exactly.
It's our stuff.
So,
she is patriotic, y'all.
Yeah.
I don't want y'all to argue that. Y'all know she is. Don't be for real.
So my thing,
she is not playing around.
This is a movie. Knowing May's mindset, and even if she may have a small soft spot for the apes, I feel like when the humans come back, they're still going to try to kill the apes off. Like, they're not gonna.
She had a gun.
Yeah,
talking to Noah behind her back at the end of the movie. They were discussing, saying if there could be any possibility of coexisting. And she had let me not do this for YouTube, but y'all know what I'm saying. She had a gun behind her back.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, she is not playing around. I'm pretty sure it was for safety, but that just goes to show how, at the end of the day, we know what side she on. She not like Will and all that. Even though
May was kind of like by her side, but she was ultimately doing it to get what she needs to do.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And she's not going to unintentionally kill apes if she don't have to, but
right.
She was on a mission to get what she needed to get. Now she's back.
She's kind of like, if the apes die, that sucks, but she's kind of like, dang.
I don't think she'll care.
Right, because she shot one of the apes.
Yeah.
With the gun. She shot
May is for the humans, so we know that. So
even though it was for like a reason, she didn't just shoot him just for anyone, because she did kill that other human too. We're not gonna skip out.
I didn't see that.
That guy, that
guy,
that slave guy for Proximus Caesar, she choked him out. So we're not.
She only did that because he was on the side with the apes, which kind of further proves my point.
But that's what I'm saying. Where even though she's
not
very
for
patriotic,
the apes. I know, but all I'm saying is that
she does this for a reason.
I know. All I'm saying is that May is clearly not on the side of the apes, and I feel like she did what she had to do, and she had to work alongside Noah to get what she needed. She did it, but
since you be on the ape side so far, I feel like.
Well, watching the movie, let me say this.
What do you think about Proximus Caesar? Answer that. Answer Proximus Caesar's question. What do you think about him?
I think he was horrible because he was tarnishing Caesar's name, and I don't like any leader who does that. Like, regardless of, and then he was kind of doing what Koba was doing, like taking power to his head and getting away from the original like idea what Caesar wanted people to do. He was using it for a bad reason.
See, that was a trick question. I was trying to get her to mess up, but she answered it right because Proximus Caesar is basically like Cobra. If y'all watch the movie, y'all know.
Yeah,
but he's basically like Cobra. Come on, man is crazy.
The reason why I'm on the ape side, if we
which apes?
I'm talking about like the ape side in general, like when it comes
like Noah's side.
Mhm.
Okay.
You know, y'all watched the whole trilogy of the first set. You know that at the end of the day, the apes didn't choose to be in their position. Apes were took from their original habitat and being tested as subjects, you know? Now, of course, Will really started all of this.
He did.
And when you think about it, Will did all of this in order to save his dad, you know? And it's like, I'm not saying like his dad should like necessarily die, but he put like animals that should have nothing to do with like studying wise and put them on he put them at risk just to save his dad. But in Will's defense, once Will realized, dang, this is not good. He tried to stop operation, but his boss, he went to, like, he said, nope, we're going to keep going. And that's the point where I feel like humans, they don't know when to stop.
You didn't side with them. That's the point where it was like,
yeah.
Basically in Rise, you did talk about it a lot. In Rise, you were like going off. Like, you were in Rise, that was the turning point.
Because that was my other thing too. In the first movie, when the apes was getting away, we all saw the apes were not intentionally trying to attack anybody. They just wanted to go home. They just wanted to have their own place. And then in Rise, they're like, you know what? We're going to go in there and get rid of those apes. It's not like those apes was constantly going back to where the humans live and attacking them. They wasn't doing that. They just wanted their own place. And I feel like that's kind of like what the movie is showing. Like, the apes just wanted their own place to live. They were forcefully pulled out their natural habitat to be test subjects. And now it's like they're getting slack for it because they became smart. I mean, whose fault is that really? That's the humans' fault. So even watching Kingdom, I personally feel like if it comes down to Noah being the leader and he really gets all the apes together, I can see the apes choosing to coincide with the humans, but I can't see the humans.
So basically a repeat.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying. You're saying it might get to the point where it's gonna repeat and you're not gonna like it again because humans are gonna try to take control and apes are actually gonna be the one that's like, we don't want to take over, we can live together.
Yeah, I think the apes showed numerous type of ways how they can coexist with humans, but then it also makes me question, like, if apes overall want to protect their species, they're going to have to pull a human move and just be relentless, even though that's not what they would want to do, because it's not like the apes necessarily even need a lot to survive. It's really just the humans being intimidated and always wanting to use something as a source of power. It's like, okay, it's going to be like, oh, if we're going to coincide with the apes, then they're going to have to work for us, and they're still good. Yeah, we know how humans are. They're always going to find a way to take advantage, and I feel like that's the problem.
Now, here's why I'm going to twist the whole conversation. Now, there's three sides. I feel like that's always prevalent, or is now prevalent. There's the good apes. There's the humans in general. Because even if you're a good human, like, that's not as emphasized now because it's not a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to say, in my opinion, it's three. That's going to move forward maybe into the next movie. There could be good humans, but y'all know what I'm saying. Good apes, humans, bad apes.
Yeah.
I'm only saying that because, listen, I know I'm like saying, oh, Koba is like Proximus Caesar. I'm saying that in the sense of how he was a bad ape. But if we really doing like a specific comparison, y'all, let's be honest. Proximus Caesar was drawling. Because you have to think about where Koba was coming from. Koba got tortured, you know what I'm saying? He got experimented on. He had a lot of trauma and stuff like that, and anger built up. And then once the littlest bit of thing happened, it pushed him over the edge. Proximus Caesar changed the views of a man completely for his own gain.
Caesar's not a man.
Huh?
Caesar's not a man.
Oh yeah. Y'all get what I'm saying? Changed an ape's views completely. Like, and used it for his own gain, like I said. For what? To get some weapons to what? To do what? You know what I'm saying? To completely switch Caesar's motive. To take over the world. To destroy all humans. So I would say
we actually forgot to mention what Proximus, because he was all, you remember what he was saying? What he was trying to do?
He was trying to take over. He wanted the weapons aside. He's all for apes.
Wasn't he trying to get a whole bunch of apes? Because he was talking about something about evolution. Remember?
He wanted to get apes to be smarter. It was technology in there that was going to be able to get them to fly. He was saying, oh, we're going to be able to fly. No,
I mean, it's not.
We're going to be able to go in the water.
So this is my thing. It's not like
tanks,
it's not necessarily
guns.
what he's saying is bad, because apes are becoming smarter. Therefore, they're going to start to function how we always saw modern humans.
But the thing is that the huge difference is Proximus Caesar.
I know he was going about it wrong. But
we don't know now. Listen, I apologize if there is history I don't know about, but based on what I know, there is no history of Proximus Caesar being messed with by humans.
Yeah, but he knew the history.
He knew. I'm pretty sure he didn't know the history because that guy was telling him. But my thing is that Koba actually dealt with it That was my only excuse. So I get why he was reacting that way. He was always interacting with humans. He just didn't like them. But Proximus Caesar, like, it's been so long, and he still has this hatred. That's what makes me feel like he's worse. And he has a way bigger influence than Koba. And he's doing worse things. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying Koba wouldn't have did the same thing. I'm just trying to, you know, give a reason as to why I feel like the antagonist of Kingdom was more crazier than Koba.
It was crazy because
He was crazier. Like, it was just like, wow, like, I can't believe you're still thinking about this. 300 years later, you're still thinking like somebody like Koba, like you just want to take over, destroy the whole world, apes rule the world.
Even though
dang.
All I can say is that even
You know?
though I'm not saying I'm not
on his side.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm on his side, but a part of me kind of understand because it's like, well, he's an ape and clearly they're trying to take over. So a part of me is like, I understand what he was doing. He was just going about it in the wrong way. That's really all it was.
Just like Koba.
Yeah.
There are similarities.
But no, Koba straight up betrayed Caesar, which was an L take.
See, that's what I'm saying. You're right. It's things that's different between both of them. Even though they're very similar and there's a lot of comparisons, they're two different characters, y'all.
Yeah.
If you ever really watched the movie, let's be honest. Dang. But yeah, that was our thoughts on Kingdom, man. Definitely recommend y'all go see it in 4DX. It was very entertaining to look in 4DX. But even if you do watch it, I'm pretty sure you're still gonna find the story interesting. But do you think anything we missed? Like anything you want to touch on? Any characters? Any specific thing that happened?
I think I explained everything.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm excited to see what they're gonna do with this next one. And we will see y'all
On the next one.